Dawn Aubrey, the VP of Enrollment Management at Oakland University, for joining us now on the MegaCast. Dawn, thank you for being with us.
Good morning. Very excited to be here with you this morning.
Yeah, good to have you with us. How are you? How's your team at Oakland doing?
I'm doing real well, and the team is definitely doing awesome. We've been working remotely for quite a while, and really doing our best to help serve families and students.
And on that note, getting straight to it, Oakland University this week announced that it is freezing tuition costs for next semester. Can you go into a little bit of details about what that means and who it does affect?
Definitely. Well, our president, Ora Hirsch-Peskovitz, felt it was really important to support our students and ensure that we provided our high quality education and remain accessible to students. So she proposed this past week a 0% tuition freeze for the fall 2020 semester in light of the challenges posed by the coronavirus pandemic. And what that really means is that for both incoming and for current students, that we freeze their tuition at all levels. So it's definitely, I think, going to have a positive impact on students and families and showing our commitment to supporting them through to graduation.
So one of the few universities in the state of Michigan that has made this decision. What led to why was that decision made? What was considered in making the move? And what's the hope for the results of this move for the fall semester and going forward at Oakland University?
Sure. Well, when you make a decision like that, you have to be very careful and think about, how we are going to be able to afford to do that, since, we don't have a large state appropriation, and we anticipate our state appropriation actually is going to decrease maybe by 1.3 million from the prior fiscal year. And since we do spend quite a bit of our financial aid budget, about $51.3 million, to help support our students with our institutional aid. So we had to look at that. And we also made sure that we could maintain our no fee policy, which is devoted to substantial resources, also to financial aid. So we wanted to make sure that we could keep that. We really think it's important to be able to provide support. So we looked at all those factors and decided that this was definitely the right thing to do. And our board of trustees definitely supported that decision. Oakland is the state's lowest funded public university on a per student basis, and we rank in the middle for the cost students pay for their education. It's among the lowest cost universities for entering first year students. So we just felt we need to stay on course with what we've been able to provide in the past, and having the zero tuition freeze definitely, I think, reinforced our commitment to students and their families.
And you want to provide for your students, and you want to help them through this tough time too, because it's tough on the university, but it's also tough on the individual student. And having tuition prices hike, it could in many cases be devastating to their education. So freezing tuition costs, keeping that consistent, it's a way that could possibly keep students at the university and attract students to the university as well. Was that a factor in this decision?
Absolutely. We definitely want to be able to maintain our enrollments, bringing new students, and also retaining and supporting students through graduation, our two top goals. Also making sure that students' average debt remains low. I think the average debt to students in Michigan, college students, is about $31,791, where at Oakland, our average debt is about $27,103. So it's about a $4,688 difference. So that was also a factor for Oakland. Again, it's affordability and making sure students are graduating with the lowest amount of debt possible also weighed into that.
Joining us is Dawn Aubrey, the Vice President of Enrollment Management at Oakland University, on the Oakland County MegaCast, including outlets such as the Facebook page of Oakland University. And you talk about freezing tuition costs, how that in fact impacts students financially. And you also mentioned financial aid as an important factor in this. And freezing tuition keeps your tuition costs at a consistent rate. Does that also affect people who have been granted financial aid for the upcoming semesters? Does that change that at all, factoring in that tuition prices aren't going to go up, and that may have been a factor in granting financial aid? Does that affect those students at all?
Definitely. It affects all of our students. So, having a lower cost tuition will help our students be able to afford the university. Many of our students come in with both institutional financial aid and also federal financial aid. So, keeping those costs down will definitely assist them. We have a robust financial aid package with both merit and need based aid. So for us to be able to assist them, we thought this was the right move. We also are offering emergency grants as long as we're helping disperse the CARES relief grants. And so keeping tuition low will obviously help those students maintain their status, hopefully as a full-time student. And then for new families, new students to come into the university, it'll help them make their decision to stay on course with entering as a new freshman or a new transfer in the fall. And even our graduate students and our medical students too.
With social distancing measures in place and with COVID-19 still looming over us until there's a vaccine and until that vaccine is distributed properly and safely throughout our communities in the United States, and definitely in the state of Michigan in our case, in the case of Oakland University, is enrollment affected by that in terms of how many students you're bringing in? Is Oakland bringing in less students because they want to promote social distancing and prevent a situation where you could have an influx of people on campus? Or is that not a factor in this current scenario because of virtual learning, distance learning, and other factors in place?
Yeah, I believe we'll be able to maintain a similar enrollment this fall because, as you just mentioned, we have many things in place. So that way students can learn both in person, online or virtually, and then through a hybrid format. So we have many different options, but we're taking preventative measures, and we've instituted a lot of new practices, such as in our residence halls. So that way we will reduce capacity in our residence halls to about 80%. So that way we can make sure that we are social distancing appropriately. We want to minimize risk to our students at all times. So all of those things are factored into our enrollment projections. But we're doing a great job. Our faculty are working very quickly to take their courses and offer what we're considering a hybrid format. So that way some students can actually choose to stay at home and learn or come onto campus and learn too. We're being very, very flexible. Other faculty have decided to offer completely online, and some other faculty would like to offer in person. And again, as you mentioned, social distancing is key. We're holding those classes in larger classrooms where we can make sure we're 6 feet apart from each other. And then again, students who don't feel safe, they can actually will have the ability to tune in from home and learn virtually. So we're accommodating in many different ways, and we are very looking forward to welcoming a very healthy incoming class, and then also maintaining our current student enrollment as well as both the undergrad and graduate levels.
Dawn Aubrey with us, the Vice President of Enrollment Management for Oakland University. So on top of just the general enrollment questions, getting into the university and becoming a student there and being able to afford to pay for your education with tuition costs being as affordable as possible, especially in these times, there's other factors that get you there, such as scheduling, and that are involved in that, such as scheduling, getting acclimated to the campus and the university culture, orientation. Are there changes in the works for that, and what will that look like for the incoming, let's call them COVID class of students?
Yes, well, our incoming students are actually participating in virtual orientations right now, and those are going very, very well. We are able to interact with students and their family members, with our current students, our faculty and staff members. So that way they're being provided with the same information that they would have been provided with in person, but just through a different format. And what we're finding is their favorite session is a session in which they talk to current students and they let them know about their experiences and what to expect in the fall. So we're very, very pleased with our turnout with our virtual orientations. Our admissions and our financial aid office are also engaging in many virtual appointments, educating students who haven't made a decision or perhaps even still want to apply to college. So we are doing our best to help everyone, no matter what stage that they're at. And our graduate students, and especially with our new international students too, they'll be able to engage virtually and get the support they need.
Dawn Aubrey with us from Oakland University on the Oakland County Megacast on our family of TV and radio stations. Dawn, before I let you go, just a couple more questions.
Sure.
In terms of returning to the campus in the fall, guidelines are being in place in the residence halls. Is that going to be where are students going to be living in the residence halls in the fall? Is that going to be permitted? What kind of guidelines can they expect, especially incoming students in freshman classes that typically do live on campus? What can be expected for those families as they're bringing their students in to Oakland University in the fall?
Well, definitely. During this unprecedented time, our university housing is remaining committed to providing our students with extraordinary residential experience. They will still have personal attention and support, and resident assistants, hall directors will still be on staff to assist them. Of course, our main priority, our top priority, is to create a safe environment for the residential community. As I said earlier in the interview, we will bring down our capacity to about 80%. And the buildings will be open. Students are being assigned to those buildings. And there's 2 changes to the way students are assigned. A maximum of 2 students will be assigned to each bedroom in what we call Hamlin Hall, for example, resulting in a maximum of 4 students. So in 2-bedroom suites, or 5 students in 3-bedroom suites. And they'll share that suite, and they have a private ensuite bathroom in order to promote proper social distancing. And then only 1 student will be assigned to in each room in our Hill and Van Wagner houses in order to reduce the number of students utilizing the community bathrooms on each floor. We will have certain residence halls that are assigned to incoming freshmen. So Hamlin Hall, Hill House, Oakview Hall, and Van Wagner. And then non-first year students will be assigned to our Ann B. Nicholson apartments. We have George T. Matthews apartments. We have Greek Cottages, Hillcrest Hall, one of our newer halls, Oakview Hall, and Vandenberg Hall. So I really think the university housing staff is doing a great job to help them. And we do have measures in case we suspect that students are infected with COVID-19. We will have medical consultation available, and our Graham Health Center is equipped to provide COVID-19 testing to symptomatic students.
Dawn, last question for you before I gotta let
Sure.
you go. One thing that does really attract students to Oakland University is our campus experience, such as sports, particularly basketball, and that's still in flux right now. Any communication with university's athletics department in terms of whether or not we'll see Oakland University basketball and other athletics taking place in the fall?
Sure. Well, we all are remaining hopeful. Our director of athletics is doing an awesome job communicating with the community and with the Horizon League and the NCAA about guidelines that would need to be put in place if we were to offer athletics. We've had a lot of different discussions of whether or not spectators would be allowed or not in the appropriate social distancing that would need to occur. But I do not believe there has been a final decision yet. But, we all are anxious. We would love to see all of our teams compete. But we also understand that we need to be safe. And it's important to not only keep our athletes safe, but all of our communities safe as well. But thank you for asking and bringing up Golden Grizzlies athletics. They are amazing teams. We have great students, and we are supporting them through.
Dawn Aubrey, Vice President of Enrollment Management at Oakland University. Anything else for us before I let you go?
Well, I just appreciate the time that you took with us today, and we're looking forward to welcoming our students back to this fall, and we're excited to offer them an amazing education. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Dawn Aubrey, the Vice President of Enrollment Management at Oakland University, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast.